Greetings and welcome to Jobless Talk Rant for January 14th, 2011. I'm Paladinette, the host of the 2-hour blog talk show this is based on. Let's get right to today's rant. Since our last Jobless Talk show, there was an unspeakable tragedy in Arizona last Saturday that has captured the attention of the nation. My heart goes out to the victims and their families. People seem to get so touchy out there these days. If you have followed my work for some time, those of you who have know that I've never been one to incite violence. In fact, I have mentioned many times my own thoughts and fears of what I believe may well be a wave of civil unrest very soon unless help is forthcoming for the impoverished 99er nation. History tells us that this is a natural occurrence in times of such suffering. People will only take so much, and they start to fight back for their own survival. That's just human nature. And I'm concerned over that, though that was not the case of what happened in Tucson, as we all well know. This had a lot to do with untreated mental illness. It's just a shame. It's a terrible shame. However, to those idiots out there who still not get it and keep complaining and whining on the blogs, okay? If you wish to dictate what is written in an article or a national blog, then I suggest that you get about writing your own. Do not even attempt to go there and tell me what to write or how to write mine. Are we clear on that now? God, I hope so. I'm really getting sick of saying it. Don't tell me to change what I write. Or you can tell me, but don't be surprised if I don't listen or just ignore you. It's my article, my blog, my show. I do what I want. Now, I encourage all of you to cultivate that fighting spirit within you. Don't give up or give in to depression and apathy, as they are truly your enemies every bit as much as some members of Congress have appeared to be the enemies of the unemployed. But do not use that as an excuse to indulge your lesser angels or your demons by physically harming people that you feel might be deserving of such. That is insanity. If you use your anger as a motivating force to propel you off the couch and into the visibility of taking it to the streets, you must allow your humanity to direct and guide you. Love is a far more powerful force than hate ever will be. I got some breaking news. I was just able to confirm right before yesterday's Jobless Talk radio show that Rick Sloan, head of UCubed, will be my special guest next week. He will be taking your calls, so bring your UCubed questions next week to Jobless Talk. It's on Fridays. Every Friday at noon Pacific, you can get your questions answered by the man himself, Mr. Rick Sloan, next week on the 21st of January. Representative Jesse Jackson announced on the 7th of this month that he would be collecting resumes of the unemployed to dramatize the shameful condition of unemployment and compel action to do something about it. We want everyone to send those resumes to resumesforamerica@mail.house.gov. Now, people, it's true that we've done this before, but at the time, we did it on our own. Nobody was really the point man in Washington to collect them and do anything with them. I would personally love to see hundreds of thousands of emails of resumes sent to this man every week. Send your own, not once, but several times. Now, in the I cannot believe that I even have to go there department, I have to say this about that. You know, I tend to believe that my personal business is exactly that, my personal business. But in the interest of full disclosure, and since some of the blogs out there have been rank with speculation about a possible 99er romance taking Paladinette out of the Tier 5 fight for good, that's hogwash. Out there on Facebook, Washington Watch, and other blogs where the unemployed gather to gossip, opine, and slam everybody without even a good cause or reason, I've had my share of put-downs, slander, disparaging remarks, and outright lies. When those asinine little barbs stab at me, I could care less. But when they involve such falsehoods and misinformation or seek to harm those that I personally care about, the gloves come off, baby. Being that Valentine's Day is just about a month away, let me say this about that. No, Paladinette will not be moving to Kentucky. Kevin lives in Oklahoma. No, I will not be leaving the fight for the 99er Nation to go play house with another member of the 99er Nation. Kevin supports my work for the cause 100%, inspires me greatly, and has been advocating at my side for several months now. Yes, it is true that during our mutual work for the cause since May, June of 2010, we have recently become a couple in the traditional sense, and I would hope that now that this accurate but unnecessary disclosure of this information is out there, that we can all please be adults and allow my private life to remain private. Paladinette is a persona I use to advocate for jobless Americans. This has been a long, lonely, thankless 99er fight, and I pray that you can all just be happy for us, that something really wonderful besides trying to get benefits, that something really wonderful on a personal level has come out of this hard work. So I'm no longer single, but I remain single-mindedly dedicated to the cause. Enough said? I sure hope so. Now, today's show is subtitled Believe, for man surely cannot achieve anything unless he can first conceive it in his mind and spirit, then believe that into vision. Theodore Roosevelt, my favorite president ever, said, "Believe you can and you're halfway there." Another relevant quote of his that I love is, "The only man who makes no mistakes is the man who does never do anything." Oh, how true that is. And I hopefully can explain by these quotes some of the missteps that we've all suffered together along the way as the 99er Nation progressed and developed, especially last year. We made mistakes. We fell short of our goals. And within our community, we've wasted precious time, energy, and momentum, often by fighting amongst ourselves. Speculation on what may or may not work. What was being reported that may or may not be true. Whose ego was running rampant. Most of the rubbish was offered up by ignorant wannabes who were envious of those who actually got out there and tried to do what we could to make things happen. Now, some criticism may have been justified, but never should have been used to attack those within our ranks willing to do whatever it took to be heard and help in any way we can. I feel so strongly that the only failure truly is not to try and to not keep trying until we found what's going to work. And it's not been easy. As anyone that's lived it with us knows, it's been pure hell. Please remember that true leaders defer all credit to those who pitched in and did all the real work, which, by the way, are all of you. But humility is not humiliation. Do not think that you were humiliated in any way by these failures, okay? We just got to keep on plugging away. Do any of you think that I feel humiliated by these failures? Or just not getting the Tier 5 yet? Do you think that being laughed at nationally by Speaker Nancy Pelosi on the 28th of May, 2010, just because we were trying to contact them to say, hey, we need some help out here? Do you think that humiliated us? Not a chance, baby. It may have been out of line for her. Perhaps we even misunderstood that callous cackle, but nobody can humiliate you without your permission. I, for one, refuse. Humility, on the other hand, is essential to continuing to rally the troops. Getting a letter to the president hand-delivered through Obama by Mr. Gibbs, that's huge. Getting Stabbin' out to write our 99ers bills, big. Getting 99ers on the Ed show for several weeks and feeding Ed stories he actually used on those shows about 50 different times or more. Thrilling, exciting, yes. But it was a joint effort with tons of members in the 99er Nation. A few were willing to step out and get on camera, yes. But all of you wrote and emailed and called and faxed, and you did your part. We need you. A handful of us can't get this done. We are millions strong. We need every voice in this fight. When I write my articles, I'm attempting to do just that, trying to stir you up from your justifiable discouragement and inevitable apathy. It's hard getting up every day to basic nothingness. You know, that takes a lot of courage, and I commend every single one of you. But I don't ever call for violence, and I assume my readers are intelligent enough to understand just that, but I'll be damned if there isn't always a few of those thick-headed commenters out there who either still really don't get it about me and what I've always tried to do, or they're just playing it dumb in order to justify their own laziness, not wanting to participate in these vital campaigns. People, we cannot just do one thing. We need to do it all, and every day and every chance we get to make our voices heard. And please don't use me as your lame excuse. Okay, I don't like what she writes, so I'm not going to help. Now, a case in point about being totally misunderstood was my article, 99ers Call to Action, January 13th. Target, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. I wasn't criticizing her. I'm just saying we can't wait. We can't wait till next March. While they're wasting time on the House floor right now with trying to repeal a health care bill that won't even take effect for 3 years, they should be taking that time to help the 99ers. We need help now. Triage, baby. Who's bleeding? The one with the open gaping wound needs to get the help fastest. Anybody in the emergency room knows that. First off, folks, I didn't use, the ones that didn't like my use of the word target, Webster's has many definitions for that word. Go look it up. Hell, the name Target is even used for a chain of stores. But did any of you think I was talking about going shopping in that article? Lest there be any doubt for those who just had to go there, I offer you this from Webster himself. Target, an objective or result toward which efforts are directed. Period. End of sentence. To those just way too sensitive on the subject, I say I am not on board with the notion that I have to watch every single word I use. I said nothing wrong in this article. If we have to restrict innocent word usage just because some nutcase shot somebody, then these violent jerk-offs win. I refuse to be intimidated or alter my natural way of being or writing just because of what happened in Arizona. After all, I am not, nor have I ever been, like those teabag nutcases who go around touting Second Amendment solutions or saying lock and load. Cut me a break. And to that brain surgeon not on the Facebook page, you just can't keep ranking on this issue. Hey, this was what he commented, okay? Hey, I didn't elect you to lead the 99ers. And to you I say, hey, asswipe. I did not recall running for leader of anything. And never said I am anything more than just one small part of a big, huge puzzle to hopefully get what the 99er Nation needs. Since I don't recall seeing your name or hearing anything about you before now, please, pray tell, exactly what the hell have you been doing for the cause the last 2 years? Right, that's what I thought. Another nobody whining because you think somebody's getting more attention than you. Wah! Well, get over yourself. And stop using me as your excuse to sit on your butt doing nothing but bitching about those of us who do something. Now, moving on. The 99's article call to action was to focus on Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. Now, I commend her efforts, and I commend the efforts of the Congressional Black Caucus. My God, we need somebody in our corner. It's time they stop putting off saving the 99ers and all exhaustees. We count. We matter. They still work for us. Let's go, nation. Tell her staff politely, okay? I'm not saying, I never said anything about attacking this woman. I didn't hear anything in my article that says attack the congresswoman either verbally or figuratively. My God. I'm going to have to continue this rant on part 2.